Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to welcome you to today's presentation. Today, we're exploring the Masonic audiobook library. The focus is on spiritual alchemy, transmuting the lower self into divine light. We'll also delve into the mysticism of Masonry. Over the next few minutes, I'll guide you through the fascinating concepts of spiritual transformation and the mystical traditions that underpin Masonry. So, let's begin this enlightening journey together. Welcome to this next part of our journey as we explore the fascinating world of spiritual alchemy. On this slide, we'll delve into several key themes that form the foundation of our understanding. First, we'll discuss the introduction to spiritual alchemy, which is all about transforming the inner self through sacred practices. Then, we'll examine the process of transmutation, highlighting how inner qualities are refined just like metals in traditional alchemy. Next, we'll consider the role of the mystic in alchemy, emphasizing the importance of spiritual guides and intuition. We'll also look at Masonry and spiritual alchemy, exploring how ancient symbols and structures relate to inner development. Moving forward, the spiritual journey represents the path we walk toward enlightenment, filled with challenges and growth. Then, we'll see how alchemical philosophy in daily life encourages us to apply these principles in everyday situations. The inner teacher reminds us that wisdom resides within, waiting to be uncovered. Finally, we reach the ultimate goal, divine light, representing the attainment of divine consciousness and unity. To conclude, we'll reflect on how these concepts intertwine and inspire us on our personal spiritual path. This slide sets the stage for understanding the deeper aspects of alchemy as a transformative spiritual practice. Welcome to our exploration of spiritual alchemy. Today, we'll delve into the fascinating process of transmutation, which is at the heart of alchemical transformation. This isn't just about turning base metals into gold. It's about transforming ourselves on a spiritual level, elevating our consciousness and inner being. We'll also examine the vital role that mystics have played throughout history in guiding this process. Mystics serve as bridges between the earthly and the divine, helping us understand the deeper mysteries of spiritual alchemy. Next, we'll see how Masonry, particularly spiritual Masonry, intersects with alchemy. It's about building inner structures that support our spiritual growth and enlightenment. The journey itself is central to our discussion. The spiritual journey is an inward voyage toward self-realization and divine unity, often marked by trials, revelations, and inner awakening. We'll explore how alchemical philosophy isn't just a tradition of the past, but a practical approach to daily life, applying its principles to cultivate balance, wisdom, and spiritual insight in everyday situations. The inner teacher is another key concept. It reminds us that true wisdom resides within us, guiding our transformation from within rather than outside sources. And finally, we reach the ultimate goal, divine light. This represents enlightenment, unity with the divine, and the realization of our highest potential. As we conclude, I encourage you to reflect on these ideas and consider how they might inspire your own spiritual path. Understanding spiritual alchemy is about grasping a deeply transformative process. It's not just about turning metals into gold, it's about transforming ourselves from within. When we talk about alchemy in this context, we're referring to a journey of inner growth, moving from our base instincts and lower self toward higher consciousness and a divine essence. It's like alchemy for the soul, symbolizing enlightenment and spiritual evolution. Historically, spiritual alchemy has roots in ancient philosophies and mystical traditions from various cultures. These traditions have long sought to understand how we can turn our ego, our sense of separateness, into a higher state of awareness. You'll find these ideas woven into early alchemical texts and practices, which aim to transform the mind and spirit, not just matter. The connection between alchemy and inner transformation is profound. It's about the mystical journey of transmutation, taking what's coarse and turning it into something refined and enlightened. This process mirrors what many spiritual traditions, including Masonry, describe as an inner quest, an ongoing effort to elevate ourselves from lower states to higher consciousness. So, in essence, spiritual alchemy is a symbolic and practical framework for inner change. It guides us in transmuting our lower selves into enlightened consciousness, reflecting that universal journey towards self-realization and spiritual awakening. Let's take a closer look at the lower self and what it really represents. The lower self embodies qualities like ego, fear, desire, and a sense of separation. These are the aspects that tend to pull us away from higher consciousness and spiritual growth. They create illusions about who we are, fostering attachments that keep us bound to a limited sense of identity. Understanding the role of the lower self in our personal development is crucial. While it often manifests as fears, doubts, and desires, these can actually serve as catalysts for growth. When we confront and work through these obstacles, they become opportunities to elevate our consciousness and move closer to divine light. Now, how does the lower self impact our spiritual journey? Well, it often embodies limiting beliefs and negative patterns that block our progress. These attachments hinder us from experiencing enlightenment, preventing us from truly recognizing the divine light within us. So, recognizing and transcending these aspects of the lower self is key to advancing on our spiritual path. Welcome to this section where we explore the fascinating world of spiritual alchemy. First, we'll look at the process of transmutation, which is about transforming our inner state from ordinary to divine. It's a metaphor for personal growth and spiritual evolution. Then, we consider the role of the mystic in alchemy, how the mystic acts as a guide, using intuition and inner wisdom to navigate this transformative journey. Moving forward, we see how Masonry, beyond its physical aspect, connects deeply with spiritual alchemy, symbolizing the building of our inner temple. Next is the spiritual journey itself, a path that involves self-discovery, purification, and awakening. We'll also discuss how alchemical philosophy applies to our daily lives, encouraging us to turn our everyday experiences into opportunities for inner transformation. The concept of the inner teacher is crucial here. It reminds us that the wisdom we seek is within us all along. Finally, we arrive at the ultimate goal, divine light. This represents enlightenment, unity with the divine, and the realization of our highest potential. As we conclude, I invite you to reflect on these ideas and consider how they resonate with your own spiritual path. This overview ties everything together, emphasizing that alchemy is not just about outer transformation, but about turning inward to discover our true divine nature. Let's explore the key stages of alchemical transformation outlined on this slide. First, calcination involves the breakdown of the ego. This is a crucial step where we strip away false identities and attachments that no longer serve us. By doing so, we pave the way for greater self-awareness and lay a solid foundation for spiritual growth and transformation. Next, we have dissolution, which is about releasing emotional and material attachments. This process acts as an internal cleansing, helping us let go of what holds us back and preparing us for a higher state of consciousness. It's a vital phase in clearing the path for deeper spiritual evolution. Finally, separation involves discerning our authentic self from illusions. This stage helps us gain a clearer understanding of our true essence. Recognizing what is real versus what is illusion is essential for the transformation necessary in spiritual alchemy. Together, these stages, calcination, dissolution, and separation, form the core process of alchemical transformation. They guide us from breaking down old constructs to discovering our true self and ultimately evolving into higher states of consciousness. This is how we move through the stages of inner alchemy on our journey of spiritual development. Let's explore some key techniques for transmutation. First, meditation practices are central because they help us cultivate inner stillness and awareness. By engaging in regular meditation, we create a space for self-reflection and transformation. These practices allow us to integrate spiritual insights, which in turn promote the transmutation of our lower self into divine light. Essentially, meditation becomes a bridge that guides us from our ordinary state to a higher, more illuminated one. Next, visualization and symbolism are powerful tools used in spiritual alchemy. They help us focus our intentions and understand deeper meanings behind our inner work. By visualizing transformative images or symbols, we can consciously direct energies to shift lower self-qualities into divine light. These practices deepen our connection to the process and make the abstract more tangible. Finally, rituals and ceremonies play a significant role. They serve as intentional acts that facilitate our inner journey. Through these sacred practices, we foster strong intentions and align ourselves with higher states of consciousness. Rituals provide a structured way to support and accelerate our process of transmutation, helping us embody the transformation we seek. Together, these techniques, meditation, visualization, and rituals, form a comprehensive approach to spiritual alchemy, guiding us toward our divine potential. Welcome to Slide 9. Today, we're diving into the introduction to spiritual alchemy. This is where we begin to understand how alchemy isn't just about turning lead into gold, but about transforming our inner selves. The process of transmutation, which is central to alchemy, involves a profound inner change, turning base energies into higher states of consciousness. The role of the mystic in alchemy is vital. Mystics are the guides who have traveled this inner journey and understand the deeper symbolism. They help us navigate the complex process of spiritual transformation. Masonry also plays a significant role here, as many of its teachings align with the principles of spiritual alchemy, building a solid foundation for inner growth. The spiritual journey itself is unique for each of us, but it always involves moving inward, seeking enlightenment, and refining our soul. Alchemical philosophy encourages us to apply these principles in daily life, fostering a continuous process of self-improvement and awareness. The inner teacher is a concept that reminds us that wisdom and guidance come from within. We all have this innate capacity to learn and evolve. And finally, the ultimate goal of all this work is to reach divine light, a state of unity with the divine, where enlightenment and inner peace reside. So, as we reflect on these points, remember that spiritual alchemy is a lifelong journey of inner transformation, guided by wisdom, intuition, and a desire for higher consciousness. Now, let's explore the path of the mystic. In alchemy, mysticism represents more than just a spiritual belief. It signifies the inner journey toward enlightenment. This is where practitioners work to transform their lower self through spiritual insights, creating a bridge between the material world and the divine. The goal is unity, a harmony that connects us to higher truths. The mystic's journey in alchemy is fundamentally about transformation. It's a process of merging inner wisdom with divine guidance, leading us toward enlightenment. This transformation isn't just about changing externally, but about transmuting the lower aspects of ourselves into higher consciousness. This journey emphasizes inner experience, personal, introspective, and profound. It's about aligning ourselves with spiritual truths, which fosters a deeper understanding of the divine and ultimately personal enlightenment. Understanding mysticism helps us see that this path is deeply personal, but also connected to universal truths. It's a process of inner discovery, guiding us toward our highest potential. This aligns with the overall theme of transformation and spiritual growth that runs throughout this presentation. Let's explore the tools of the mystic and how they facilitate spiritual transformation. Mystics often use symbols and archetypes as a language to convey deep spiritual truths. These symbols act as gateways, helping us understand complex concepts through intuitive insight and experiential understanding. They serve as a bridge between the conscious and unconscious mind, guiding us on our inner journey. Sacred texts, especially in alchemy, are more than just writings. They are guides packed with symbolic wisdom. These texts illuminate the path from our lower, ego-driven self to higher divine consciousness, offering clues and insights that help us navigate the transformation process. Additionally, community and brotherhood play a vital role. Mystics often come together, sharing experiences and supporting each other's growth. This collective effort fosters a sense of unity and purpose, which amplifies individual spiritual pursuits. Through shared intentions and mutual support, they create a powerful environment for transformation. All of these tools, symbols, sacred texts, and community are interconnected. They serve the overarching theme of alchemy, transforming the lower self into divine light. They help us move beyond mere intellectual understanding to a lived, experiential realization of our true divine nature. Welcome to Slide 12. Today, we will explore the fascinating world of spiritual alchemy. First, we'll look at the process of transmutation, which is about transforming our inner selves into higher states of consciousness. This isn't just metaphorical, it's a profound journey of inner change. Next, we consider the role of the mystic in alchemy, how individuals attuned to spiritual truths act as catalysts for transformation, both within themselves and in the world around them. We'll also discuss the connection between Masonry and spiritual alchemy, highlighting how ancient symbols and practices serve as tools for inner development. The spiritual journey is central to all of this, a path that guides us through discovery, challenge, and ultimately enlightenment. We'll see how alchemical philosophy can be integrated into our daily lives, helping us cultivate wisdom and resilience. The inner teacher is another key concept, our intuitive guidance system that points us toward growth. Finally, we reach the ultimate goal, divine light, representing our union with the divine and the realization of our highest potential. As we conclude, I encourage you to reflect on these ideas and consider how they resonate with your own spiritual journey. Let's explore the introduction to Masonic symbols. These symbols, like the compass and square, are more than just tools. They represent moral guidance and the journey of inner transformation. They remind us of the ongoing quest for spiritual enlightenment and the importance of maintaining balance between our earthly selves and our divine aspirations. Moving on to key symbols and their meanings, Masonry is rich with alchemical principles. It uses these symbols to illustrate personal transformation, highlighting the journey from ignorance to enlightenment. Think of it as an alchemical process, transforming base metals into gold, except here, it's about transforming ourselves into better, wiser beings. Now, let's talk about the connection between Masonry and alchemical practices. Initiation in Masonry is not just a ritual, it's a profound transformative process. It guides individuals from a state of ignorance to one of enlightenment. Through this process, we foster spiritual growth and work on transmuting our lower, base tendencies into divine awareness. Finally, the role of initiation in Masonry is central. It acts as a catalyst for change, helping us move beyond our limitations. It's about awakening a higher consciousness and embracing the journey of self-discovery. All these elements, symbols, transformation, initiation, are interconnected parts of the larger quest for enlightenment that runs through Masonry. Let's explore the Masonic rituals and their alchemical significance. First, the ceremony of initiation. This is a powerful symbol of transformation, guiding the initiate from darkness into light. It represents renewal, enlightenment, and the ongoing quest for spiritual elevation within Masonic practices. It's about awakening and inner growth, echoing the alchemical journey of refining the self. Next, we see that Masonic rituals are rich with symbolic representations. For example, the square and compass are not just tools, they symbolize the transformation of the lower self. They serve as visual metaphors for guiding individuals toward spiritual enlightenment and divine light, emphasizing the importance of moral and spiritual development. Finally, the idea of transmutation of the self is central. These rituals symbolize a profound inner change, moving from ignorance to enlightenment. It's very much like the alchemical process, transforming the base into the noble, the raw into the refined. Through Masonry, initiates undergo this inner alchemy, leading to self-realization and a deeper connection with the divine. Overall, these rituals encapsulate the core theme of spiritual transformation and enlightenment, which underpins the entire Masonic journey. Welcome to this section where we explore the fascinating world of spiritual alchemy. First, we'll look at the process of transmutation, which is about transforming our inner selves from base states to divine qualities. It's a metaphor for personal evolution and spiritual growth. Next, we consider the role of the mystic in alchemy, where the mystic acts as a guide, bridging the material and spiritual worlds, helping to unlock hidden truths. We'll also examine the connection between Masonry and spiritual alchemy, highlighting how ancient symbols and rituals serve as tools for inner transformation. Moving on, the spiritual journey is a deeply personal path toward self-realization and enlightenment. It involves dedication, reflection, and trust in the process. Then, we see how alchemical philosophy can be applied in daily life, embracing principles like patience, purification, and transformation in our everyday actions. The inner teacher is a concept that reminds us that wisdom resides within, guiding us through our experiences. Finally, we arrive at the ultimate goal, divine light. This symbolizes reaching a state of spiritual illumination, unity, and understanding of our divine nature. To conclude, I encourage you to reflect on these ideas, recognizing that spiritual alchemy is an ongoing, transformative process that enriches every aspect of our lives. Now, let's explore the phases of spiritual awakening. First, we have the call to adventure. This is that initial moment when something stirs within us, awakening our inner desire for transformation. It's like a call that sparks the soul's journey, pushing us to seek deeper truths beyond the limitations of our lower self. It's a crucial starting point because it sets the intention to grow and evolve. Next, we encounter facing challenges and shadows. As we move forward on this path, we inevitably come across obstacles and parts of ourselves we'd rather ignore. These shadows reveal hidden truths and can be uncomfortable, but embracing them is essential for true transformation. When we confront these challenges, we develop strength and resilience, aligning our lower self with a higher divine purpose. Finally, the experience of enlightenment. This is where we gain profound clarity and inner peace. It's a sense of unity with the universe that transforms how we perceive everything. This higher consciousness opens the door to spiritual fulfillment, allowing us to see beyond our limited perspective and connect with a deeper sense of truth and purpose. Throughout these phases, what's important to remember is that each step builds upon the last. The journey involves awakening, challenging ourselves, and ultimately experiencing that beautiful unity and clarity that defines true enlightenment. It's a process that leads us closer to our highest potential. Let's explore how we can sustain our spiritual growth through daily practices. Incorporating simple routines like meditation, journaling, and mindfulness can make a profound difference. These practices help us stay connected to ourselves and the present moment, cultivating awareness, gratitude, and a sense of connection with others. Engaging in community rituals and affirmations further reinforce these qualities, making spiritual growth a natural part of our daily lives. Now, a key concept here is mindfulness. Mindfulness is all about fostering self-awareness. It allows us to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment. This awareness is crucial because it helps us recognize negative patterns, those habits or beliefs that may hold us back. By consciously observing them, we can transform these patterns into opportunities for growth, gradually evolving from our lower self toward our divine light. Finally, I want to emphasize the importance of community support. Being part of a supportive community provides connection, encouragement, and shared wisdom. It creates a space where we can uplift each other through our spiritual journeys. This collective energy is essential for maintaining our growth and facilitating the alchemical transformation, turning our lower tendencies into divine light. Together, through daily practices, mindfulness, and community, we nurture a sustained and meaningful spiritual evolution. Welcome to this part of our journey, where we explore the fascinating world of spiritual alchemy. First, we'll look at the process of transmutation, which is about transforming the self from a state of limitation to one of higher consciousness. It's a metaphor for personal growth and inner evolution. Next, we consider the role of the mystic in alchemy, those who seek to understand and facilitate this inner transformation through intuition and spiritual insight. Moving on, we see how Masonry, both literal and symbolic, connects deeply with spiritual alchemy, emphasizing the building of the inner temple and refining the soul. Then, we focus on the spiritual journey itself, a path marked by self-discovery, perseverance, and awakening to our divine nature. We'll also discuss how alchemical philosophy isn't just for the esoteric. It can be applied in daily life to foster inner balance, clarity, and purpose. The inner teacher is a crucial concept here, our own intuition and higher self guiding us through the process. Ultimately, The goal of all this work is to attain the divine light, our true spiritual essence shining brightly within. As we conclude, I encourage you to reflect on these ideas, recognizing that this alchemical journey is an ongoing process of transformation and enlightenment. Let's explore how integrating alchemical principles can truly transform our personal journeys. When we apply these principles to our own issues, we're encouraged to reflect deeply on ourselves. This process of self-reflection helps us see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. By doing so, we can transmute personal difficulties into valuable lessons, ultimately fostering inner harmony and elevating our spiritual state. Another vital aspect is practicing compassion and forgiveness. These qualities are powerful tools for healing emotional wounds. When we approach ourselves and others with compassion and forgive past hurts, we turn emotional baggage into a source of light and healing. This not only promotes personal growth, but also aligns us more closely with higher spiritual principles, an essential step on the path of spiritual alchemy. Finally, cultivating awareness in our everyday actions is key. By mindfully observing our thoughts and behaviors throughout the day, we become more conscious of our patterns. This awareness helps us transform ourselves from the inside out, ensuring that our daily actions are aligned with our spiritual intentions. Ultimately, this practice raises our consciousness and keeps us connected to our higher purpose. When we face setbacks, it's easy to see them as obstacles, but I want to encourage you to view them as catalysts for growth. These challenges push us to look inward, fostering resilience and adaptability. They offer us a chance to elevate ourselves spiritually and gain deeper self-awareness. Learning from adversity is another powerful idea. When we encounter difficulties, instead of seeing them purely as problems, we can see them as opportunities to gather wisdom and strength. This process helps align the lower self, our ego or limited perspective, with our higher spiritual aspirations. And perhaps most importantly, embracing change is vital on this journey. Change is inevitable, and when we accept it as part of our growth, it transforms challenges into opportunities. This mindset allows us to transmute the lower self, with its fears and limitations, into our divine potential. All of these points tie back to our overall theme, that every challenge we face is really a stepping stone, an opportunity for transformation and deeper connection with our true selves. Welcome to this section where we explore the fascinating world of spiritual alchemy. First, we look at the process of transmutation, which is about transforming our inner selves from base states to divine qualities. It's a metaphor for personal growth and spiritual evolution. Next, we consider the role of the mystic in alchemy. Mystics serve as guides and seekers, bridging the material and spiritual worlds through inner insight and sacred practice. Then, we delve into the connection between Masonry and spiritual alchemy. Historically, Masonry has embodied alchemical principles, symbolizing the building of a refined, enlightened self. Moving forward, we discuss the spiritual journey itself, a path of inner discovery, challenges, and ultimate union with the divine. We also see how alchemical philosophy can be applied in daily life, encouraging us to cultivate virtues and awareness in every moment. The concept of the inner teacher is crucial. It reminds us that true wisdom resides within, waiting to be awakened. Finally, we arrive at the ultimate goal of alchemy, reaching the divine light within us all, a state of spiritual illumination and unity. As we conclude, I invite you to reflect on these ideas and how they resonate within your own journey of transformation and enlightenment. Let's explore the concept of the inner teacher. Recognizing your inner wisdom really means trusting your intuition, embracing self-reflection, and understanding that true guidance comes from within. When you connect with that inner voice, it can lead to profound personal transformation and spiritual growth. Intuition acts as the guiding force in spiritual alchemy, helping you access inner wisdom and insights that facilitate transformative experiences. This process bridges the gap between the lower self and divine consciousness, allowing us to transcend limitations. Developing a relationship with the inner teacher involves cultivating self-awareness, learning to listen carefully to your inner guidance, and integrating those lessons into your life for ongoing growth. Remember, recognizing your inner wisdom is about trusting that internal guidance, especially through intuition, to navigate your spiritual journey and foster deep transformation. Listening to your inner voice is a powerful step towards self-discovery and spiritual growth. Techniques like meditation, mindfulness, journaling, and visualization are tools that help us tune in more deeply. These practices boost our self-awareness and strengthen the connection with our intuitive guidance, allowing us to hear that inner voice more clearly. Of course, overcoming doubt and fear is an essential part of this process. It's natural to question ourselves or feel uncertain, but embracing our true selves means pushing past these barriers. When we do, we can transform lower instincts into higher understanding, leading us toward enlightenment and a divine purpose. Trust is the final key. Trusting your inner guidance means recognizing the value of your intuition. When you allow it to illuminate your path, it can profoundly transform your perspective. By doing so, you open yourself to spiritual growth, understanding, and a more authentic connection with yourself and the universe. Today, we'll explore the fascinating concept of introduction to spiritual alchemy. We'll delve into how the process of transmutation works, not just on a physical level, but on a spiritual one. The role of the mystic in alchemy is crucial, as mystics serve as guides and explorers of these transformative energies. We'll also examine the connection between masonry and spiritual alchemy, revealing how ancient traditions align with modern spiritual pursuits. Next, we'll discuss the spiritual journey itself, understanding that it's a path of inner growth and self-discovery. We'll look at how alchemical philosophy can be applied in daily life, helping us navigate challenges with greater awareness. The inner teacher is a concept that emphasizes trusting our intuition and inner wisdom as we progress. Finally, we arrive at the ultimate goal, divine light, representing enlightenment, unity, and the realization of our highest potential. As we conclude, I encourage you to reflect on these ideas and how they resonate with your own spiritual journey. Let's explore the characteristics of divine light and what it truly represents in our spiritual journey. Divine light symbolizes purity, wisdom, and enlightenment. It's that luminous force that transcends darkness, guiding us along the path to spiritual awakening. This light fosters a deep interconnectedness with the divine and all of creation, reminding us that we are part of something greater. As we pursue this journey towards enlightenment, it involves more than just seeking knowledge. It requires self-reflection, inner transformation, and a desire for higher consciousness. Ultimately, this path leads us to attain divine light, which signifies a profound spiritual awakening. In the context of alchemy, divine light stands for the highest state of consciousness. It embodies transformation, enlightenment, and the integration of our true selves with the universal spirit. Understanding this divine light is essential because it encapsulates the essence of our spiritual evolution and the ultimate goal of our alchemical quest. When we talk about embodying divine light, we're really referring to living in harmony with our higher selves. This involves embracing our inner truths and practicing self-reflection to better understand ourselves. By doing so, we can channel compassion, transforming our lower, more limited aspects into vessels of divine light. Living in alignment with the divine self isn't just about personal growth. It has a profound impact on how we relate to others. Divine light fosters empathy, compassion, and understanding, which helps promote harmony and unity in our relationships. It turns negative interactions into opportunities for growth and deeper connection, guiding us to respond with love rather than judgment. Spiritual alchemy plays a crucial role here. It encourages us to undergo personal transformation, guiding us to embody that divine light, integrate higher consciousness, and manifest love and wisdom in our daily decisions and interactions. Ultimately, the legacy of spiritual alchemy is about making these higher qualities a part of our everyday lives, so that each interaction becomes an opportunity to reflect divine light, fostering a more compassionate and harmonious world around us. Let's explore the introduction to spiritual alchemy, a fascinating journey into transforming ourselves on a deeper level. The process of transmutation is at the heart of this practice, where we aim to convert our base qualities into higher, more refined states of being. The role of the mystic in alchemy is crucial They serve as guides and seekers, bridging the material and spiritual worlds. When we consider Masonry and spiritual alchemy, we see how ancient traditions and symbols help us understand this inner transformation. The spiritual journey is unique for each of us, involving patience, perseverance, and inner reflection. Alchemical philosophy teaches us to integrate these principles into daily life, fostering growth and awareness. The inner teacher represents that wise voice within, guiding us through challenges and insights. Ultimately, the goal is to reach the divine light, a state of pure consciousness and unity with the universe. As we conclude, I encourage you to reflect on how these concepts resonate with your own path and potential for transformation. Let's take a moment to reflect on the summary of key concepts we've explored. The journey of transformation in spiritual alchemy is truly profound. It involves moving beyond the ego and material desires, which often trap us, and striving toward enlightenment. This process ultimately helps us embody a higher consciousness and connect with divine light, which is the core of spiritual growth. Now, considering the role of mysticism and masonry, we see that mysticism offers a transformative path. It guides individuals to elevate their awareness and transmute the lower self. This nurturing of inner transformation fosters unity with the divine and leads us towards spiritual enlightenment. Masonry, in particular, serves as a vessel for this mystical journey, helping us understand the deeper truths. Finally, embracing this adventure of spiritual growth means recognizing that our personal challenges are actually opportunities for transformation. By viewing obstacles as lessons, we build resilience and foster our inner light. This inner light is essential as we transcend the lower self and reach higher states of consciousness, aligning with the overall theme of continual spiritual evolution. Let's explore how to create your personal alchemical practice. It all starts with self-reflection, taking time to look inward, understand your thoughts and emotions, and identify areas for growth. Integrating ancient teachings provides a rich foundation, grounding your practice in wisdom that has stood the test of time. But most importantly, it's about actively transforming your thoughts and actions, turning lower tendencies into higher, more divine qualities. This ongoing process is essential for spiritual growth and enlightenment. Now, engaging with community and tradition plays a vital role. Sharing your journey with others brings in shared wisdom and support, which can really amplify your progress. It's through community that we find encouragement and learn from diverse perspectives, enriching our personal practice in spiritual alchemy. Finally, committing to the path of light means embracing continuous personal transformation. It's about nurturing the divine within and striving for higher consciousness every day. Reflective practices, combined with active engagement in your spiritual growth, keep you aligned with this path. Remember, it's a journey of ongoing dedication, one that leads to profound inner fulfillment and enlightenment. Thank you so much for joining me today and exploring the Masonic audiobook library. I hope you found this overview insightful and inspiring. This library represents a valuable resource for anyone interested in deepening their understanding of Freemasonry, its history, principles, and teachings. By making these materials accessible, we aim to preserve and share the rich heritage of our fraternity. Remember, education and continuous learning are key to strengthening our bonds and advancing our shared goals. Once again, thank you for your time and attention. I encourage you to explore the library further and keep the spirit of knowledge alive in your journey.